In today's video, I want to talk about book releases that are coming out in the next few months that I am personally super excited about. So hello my fellow fantasy book lovers and welcome to my channel. Today's video is something that I haven't done before on my channel because up to recently I wasn't really following any new book releases, what was coming out, etc. I was just reading what was available in the bookshop and what friends would recommend me. But ever since a few months ago I started actively reading again, I also wanted to get back into knowing what's coming out when, etc. So this list is a shorter list of books than maybe most of you would have, but that's also because I'm still discovering what I like in books and also discovering authors that I really like. The first two books on my list are actually both releasing on November 7th. The first one is, of course, Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. As much as I liked Fourth Wing, I think it is very much overhyped, and therefore I also think that the second book is being really overhyped, but I am very much looking forward to it. I actually enjoyed Fourth Wing a lot, and I'm curious to see how the story evolves. I've also already picked up that there will be more books, that it will be at least a trilogy, and some other people have been speculating it might be 5 books. I'm not sure what has been verified by the author, etc., but I know that there will be at least 3 books in this book series, and yeah, book 2 is coming on November 7th, and I know that I will pick it up the day it releases. In e-reader version, I don't care, but I want to read it as soon as it releases. The second book on my list is Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree, the writer from Legends and Lattes. This book promises to be in the similar setting to the first book, so a rather low-stakes fantasy book, which takes place in a bookshop. So I'm really looking forward to this. This is probably going to be a more relaxed, cozy read, which is something that I also enjoy. I also enjoy high stakes. I like a mixture of both, actually. Then we actually jump to January 2024, because in December I couldn't find any actual new releases that are coming out. And there's 2 books that are being released on January 7th. The first one is a book that I'm very much looking forward to, and it is Somewhere in the Deep by Tanvi Berwa. This name might sound familiar or might not at all. It is the same writer who wrote Monsters Born and Made, which introduced the Maris stag, so a new fantasy creature. I really loved that book. It was written for a younger audience than I am, but I really felt connected to the story, and the storytelling was really nice. So I'm really looking forward to the second book by this author that I will be reading. And I think it's going to be in a similar setting because it's also, again, sea-based, so I hope you will see more sea creatures. I'm not entirely sure if it follows the same story that ended in Monsters Born and Made, or if it is a complete separate story. Nonetheless, I'm really excited for it. Also on January 9th, Olivia Blake's The Atlas Complex is coming out. This is book 3 in the Atlas series. I only read the first book. Some of my friends have been telling me that I should read the second book in the series and then the third one when it comes out because it builds a lot more. So I may or may not pick this book up. I know a lot of people around me really did enjoy the Atlas 6 and its second book, and that are now really looking forward to the third one as well. Then we go to January 11th, where the next book of the Emily Wilde series is coming out. It is called Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, and this should be a continuation of the story where the first book, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, ended. So I'm really much looking forward to it. It was a really nice, airy read. I really hope that the same style continues of this book. I think the Emily Wilde book is what I hoped that Fantastic Beasts would have been. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by J.K. Rowling. I'm not going to talk about J.K. Rowling, but the basic understanding of that book, I hoped it was a novel where you follow the main character who's exploring these animals. Instead, it was just from A to Z, the animals with a little bit of explanation. But Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies is you follow her along as she discovers things about certain fairies and stuff, which I personally really loved. So I'm very much looking forward to the second book in this series. And then the last book, which is actually a new release, is coming in February. And it is, of course, Empire of the Damned by J. Kristoff. I love Empire of the Vampire so much. I have 3 editions on my bookshelf because I just love that book. Like, it blew me away. It is one of the books that really reintroduced me to fantasy reading, that I was like, okay, this is what I love. This is like the best book ever. It is one of my few 5-star reads of this year, so I'm really excited for book 2, which is going to be Empire of the Damned, and there is a book 3 announced as well. I'm not sure if this is gonna stay a trilogy or not. Nonetheless, I don't care. I loved book 1. If book 1 would have been like a standalone book, I would still love it, but I'm very excited that we continue in the same universe for book 2. I cannot wait. And then I have 2 releases that are technically out, but that I wasn't able to get my hands on physical copies here in Belgium just yet. And I also couldn't order them through Amazon just yet because, well, Belgium is weird like that. So the first book that I am super excited to finally get my hands on a physical copy is Yumi and the Nightmare Painter by Brandon Sanderson. I actually have to admit that I haven't read a single book by Brandon Sanderson just yet. I have one of his books on my bookshelf, which is The Frugal Wizard's Guide to Surviving Medieval England, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I have that book, and that book is more something that my partner would read. I did buy it because it seems fun, but I'm actually really so excited for Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, in which we follow 2 characters, Yumi, of course, and then the Nightmare Painter, and they get intertwined. I purposefully don't want to look up too much about this book just yet because I just want to be surprised when I read it. But I do already know that the 2 characters are connected somehow to each other, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it. And then the last book is Serpent and the Wings of Night. You get a lot of book recommendations on BookTok, BookTube, Bookstagram that have like, if you like this, then you will like this book. A lot of the books that I like have been pointed towards Serpent and the Wings of Night. The thing is, it's very difficult to get my hands on here in Belgium. So for me, it will only be available on December 7th. So it will probably be one of the reads that I maybe read this year or probably at the beginning of next year. In Serpent and Wings of Night, we are in a vampire-based setting, which is always a win for me. And I'm quickly checking it out on Goodreads to give you some information. So it says, human or vampire, the rules of survival are the same. Never trust, never yield, and always guard your heart. And we follow a human girl who has been adopted by the king of the vampires, and we follow her along in this story. It is apparently romance-based, or it has at least some romance in it, which I'm not afraid of. I quite like it when there's romance in my books. Now, of course, I know that there are more book releases than these particular books that I've mentioned in this video, but I might just not be aware of them. So if you have any recommendations for me where I can follow up on new book releases, feel free to let me know, because right now the only way I know is either through Waterstones themselves or through Goodreads. And I'm not sure if that's the best way to find out about new releases. If you know about other new releases that I should be having a look at, feel free to let me know in a comment. I really appreciate whenever you leave me comments, and I really do look into the books because I've gotten some amazing recommendations from you already. Before I end this video, I want to thank you so much for watching and also for subscribing, because I have over 100 subscribers on this channel, which blows my mind because this is like a passion project that I started because I wanted to share my love for reading with a few of my friends that unfortunately don't live close to me, and it's actually expanded way beyond that, which I am super grateful for. If you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to do so. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching. Happy reading, and I will see you very soon in a new video. Bye!